Good morning, Rebbe. No, I think yesterday we missed one day of the Sifra Tzniuta, so I think they were at page Taf Kuf Tzadik Ches, a number bet. Let me see if my glasses, what's going on here? If I can see this. Here we go. All right, so this says, what's the subject here? The subject is that the Sifra Tzniuta had said Yehi Ma'oros B'Shamayim. We had that first, and then it says then it wants to define Barakia Shemayim. What did that mean? Shalei Dacher V'Nukva. So then this relieves the subjugation of the male, or the female becomes, I guess, dependent on the male. But Tzadik Yesod Olam, and now we're in the concept of Tzadik Yesod Olam. Number bet. Oh, okay. So it says Ubabir or Meshula the Via Groa. This boy of the Ire Khan. What does it mean? Well, excuse me. Familiarize myself. What does it mean? But Tzadik Yisad Olam. What does it mean? He says the Ire Khan benesinis etzem agavuros the nukva al yedera Yesod the zer anpin beso the zivug. Now I thought it was the etzem of the chasadim. I thought it was chasadim. Now I use the word etzem here. So etzem means the essence of the gevuros are given, or I guess it means the ultimate panemias of the gevuros are given to the nukva at the time of yichud. So what did she have before that? She had the gevuros, but not the etzem. V'ayedecha bezecha miyase the boina as a nukva hanikvas olam ein sham. So there's a rei ba'aros sham. So there's also some aros over there, shehuva sham, that brings over there. Sham tzad levayir shehu sod zivug v'nesinis gevuros shal kli v'rucha begemar yunika. So let's go over that again. He says what happens in the yichud is the nesinis of the gevuros shal kli v'rucha. So in other words, the original yichud has to make her into a kli, and then the rucha begemar yunika. So I'm just not sure of these phrases. He said we could track it. It's the gevura that breaks the gevuras of kli and rucha at the time of the finish of yunika. Now here, this is very, very confusing to me. So now he refines it. He says the haina beknesis hadas betesha shana v'yom echad. This is the entrance of das, which enters in at this time. So he says that's the end of Yanika. So now reading it backwards, you have to read it back before Eitz Chaim. Has to read it backwards a little bit. So he says on the when Zeranpin reaches the age of 9 years and a day. So this is not full maturity, but this is just the beginning of something. He said once at that point, he says, let's go up. Shehu v'sham tzad levar shehu sod zivug v'nesinis gevur shal kli v'rucha begemar yunika, at the end of the yunika stage, which he says is 9 years and a day. Begins that process, and in that process, he's got a concept here of bringing gevuros into the nukva. This is a time of katnus. The haina b'knesis hadas b'teisha shana v'yom echad. This is the beginning of das, where now you see that there are gevuros and chasadim, k'mavur b'Eitz Chaim. It seems like there should be a lot more to that. So let's go up a little bit more. I got something going on. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go to number Gimel. So introducing some other ideas. Where did this idea of the Yunika at the that stage of putting gevuros into the nukva at the time of the yichud to make her into a kli and bringing the ruach in there? But this is all in kadnus. Reba or Yakar, now the or Yakar, right? Shabir Khan Bebeis Afanas, there's two different ways of looking at this. He's Darko Anal. He says the Ire Khan Be'inyan Hamtach Sadenim. So what is our subject again? It's Tzadik Yisod Olam. So what's Tzadik Yisod Olam mean? It means it has to do with the concept of the sweetening of the dinim shalom nukva al yedera Yesod Zer Anpin, through the Yesod Zer Anpin. So there's two biurim here apparently. Biur Rishon, the first one, Aleph, Sha'olam. The word olam, he said, means what? refers to Malchus. Everybody seems to agree with that. Ubir Beis She'olam Hu Olam Hazeh means the world that we live in, not Tachton, which I consider the Malchus of the Malchus. V'zel L'shon Sham, this is what he says of Adep Perusha of Rishon in his first Pirush. Okay, we have a little break. Our sponsor, Hashem Yisbarach, is giving us an opportunity to learn deeply into the Sifra Tzniuta, and we have to thank Rebbe here for bringing this Sefer. The whole thing was brought to here by him. And here he comes back. Okay, so then we go on. He says, Beis Sha'olam Hu Olam Haza Tachton. So what's the difference between Olam means Malchus? So Malchus, I'm assuming, means the Malchus of Atzilus, and we're talking here about the Malchus of Asiya. So in his first explanation, he says like this, what does that mean? The Tzadik Yesod, Tzadik is Yesod, Makayim HaMalchus HaNikras Olam. So, simple enough. That's the first drash. She Yesod of the Mala, that his Yesod is up above the Yesod the Zer Anpin. It's talking about the Yesod is there. V'inyan Kiyum HaOlam, he Matikos Dineho. This is the sweetening of the dinim of the Nukva. Going on. Number Dawud. He said, V'od, Kaseh Ba'or Yakar Sham B'Ferush HaSheni. Now the Or Yakar explains, of course, this is the Or Yakar, we just were in the Or Yakar. Here's number Dawud on the Or Yakar. And he said, Nifrash HaPasuk, if you explain the B'Shut the Yesod Olam, it's a Yesod Olam Hazeh. V'kiyam HaNimsos, and it has to do Shal Olam Hazeh. In other words, that the reality of this world is maintained. So who is that? Who's the Tzadik? Yesod, that's Yesod, the Zer Anpin, allows this world to continue on. The Zer Anpin. V'chol Ketzar, how is that? Ki Olam Kula Aved Im Yisnage B'Tzedek B'Dinei HaMalchus. So if the world does not have Zer Anpin within it, our world, then it would be destroyed, because the Medinim in Malchus would destroy it. Below Mishpat, where there would be no Mishpat. Mishpat refers to Zer Anpin. In other words, the Ruach has not come into the Nefesh. Kedechsev, V'hu Yishpo Tevel B'Tzad Tevel, that's us. Yishpo Tevel B'Tzadek. The Hainu Shafot B'Tzadek. That's Zer Anpin in Malchus. So that he wants to say, he said the Hainu Yishpo, because Mishpat refers to Zer Anpin. You have to have Yishpo B'Tzadek, the two of them together, which is the Yichud of Zachar V'Nok. Zer Anpin ima Malchus. V'Yehudim al Yedech B'Yesod Nimsa. So how do they actually come together? They come together through this Yesod. Yesod Nimsa Shacha Yesod the Elyon, the Zer Anpin. It comes out like this, that the upper Yesod is Zer Anpin. I guess he means the Zer Anpin is upper in compared to the Nukva. Shuhu HaTzadik, Hu Kiyam Olam Hazeh. He's the one that is this Zer Anpin, the Penimius of Malchus, is what sustains it. So number hey, Rebbe Yafashah, look over in the Yafashah Shabir Khan, he explains here, Shapasav V'Tzaddik Yesod Olam Musav al Yesod Abba. Now, so we're moving this Yesod around. It's possible that it's all the same thing. It just depends on your point of view, which Yesod we're talking about. Olam Musav al Yesod Abba. Excuse me. V'zel Lashono, so this is what it says. Dechsev V'Tzaddik Yesod Olam Pirush Ka'asher HaMochen Da'ava Ve'ima Mislav Shebezer Anpin. So this is the time of godless, or the time of growth is Zer Anpin. Mochen Da'aba, so he says Mochen Da'aba Al Yedech Yesod Da'aba HaMizgala Min HaChaza Zer Anpin Olamat. Now, so I'm just trying to think. I understand what he said. I'm just trying to understand what is its implication. So let's read on. He says the Mochen Dezer Anpin clear the Mochen. The Yesod of Ima from the Chaz of Lamata. It's Mizgala. It says the Mochen the Abba al Yedei Yesod the Abba HaMizgala. So the Yesod of Abba, the Ataras Yesod of Abba extends all the way down to the Yesod of Zer Anpin. Amizgalim in the Chaza de Zer Anpin Lamata, Ki Ad Sham Mechusach B'toch Nai De'ima Kanoidus. So he wants to say that the Yafashah says that Yesod Abba, that the Yesod we're talking about, the Tzadik Yesod Olam, is the Yesod of Abba, who's the Tzadik. We have a little Zion here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. There's not much on the Zion. He says that, I don't really understand exactly. He says the Lashon is Chassid, L'chara, that's really missing the explanation of what it means to have Abba Mizgala below the Chaza of Zer Anpin. What exactly that Gilui means. I guess he means he's trying to figure out what it goes to. Now let's look on a little bit more, and now we're going to go into number Vav. And but the Vav says, Rei Bezoar Chai, he says, the Azil Khan Lefidarko, which is what? The Shalit Dachav Nukva. So going back to the concept of the Shlita of the male has to come first. He says, Haidach of Zivuk Darasias Kli Bebia Rishayna. So what is this? Again, our subject is what again? Is V'tzadik Yesod Olam. So Yesod could mean Yesad. It founds it. So he says, the Azil Kan Lefidarko, again, the Shalat Dachav Nukva, Haina Zivuk Darasias Kli Bebia Rishayna. So the first Bia, that makes a Kli out of the Nukva. In other words, it makes space within Nukva to be able to bekabel. The shorish al kli nimshach mitrin itrin. So where does the kli come from? Its root is in the two itrin, which we assume is the chasadim, the itrin of the chasadim of the gevuros. In das kemavur be'etz chaim, he says ushar hanasira. So maybe I think we're going to have maybe a note we could work on here a little bit. So from this das, he says, trin itrin, trin kasvin de Erik Anpin. So the two crowns, he says, correspond to the place of the shoulders of Erik Anpin. Now, I'm not sure that I understand that. Let me read it again. Trin itrin, trin kasvin de Erik Anpin, nimshach al Yesod de Zer Anpin. And so that light from the shoulders of Erik Anpin, it goes into the Yesod of Zer Anpin, Shuhu Yesod ha'elef l'cha Shlomo. There's 1,000 for you, Shlomo. I'm not sure what pshat is. And then he says over here, l'meihev chad rucha benukva la'sosa kli. So that's, again, the idea of bringing this aleph, I guess, into her, is the concept of bringing into bring this nukva into the kli, la'sosa kli, and makes her a kli. B'zecha b'tzadik Yesod Olam, that's the concept of the Tzadik Yesod Olam Shal HaNukva. So he found he says at the end Shal HaNukva Ki Niten Ba Yesod Shal Zachar, because the Yesod Shal Zachar is put into her. V'ruach v'das Zachar Kanoida, and then all of the rest flows out of that. Now we have some arichos on these ideas. And let's go back to number Ches. Number Ches said in our back here in number Ches, it says right before that, V'shorish hakli nimshach mitrin itrin. So the question is, Kamavur be'etz chaim, Shahar Nasira, over there's number Ches. So let's look, and we have a little Ches here. See what we could get out of it. So it says, Rei be'etz chaim sham v'zel l'shano. I have trouble with my glasses. I really need another pair of glasses here just to be able to easily look at this. But anyway, v'hinei mu'achada mizeh hadas. I think if mizeh hadas, there we go. Shehem beis kasvin de Erik Anpin. I'm not sure I understand how that is, but the das, really the origin of the das, he wants to say, is the two shoulders of Zer Anpin. We probably learned about this, but I just don't remember it. Nimshach koach zera Yesod de Zer Anpin. Koach el Yesod de Zer Anpin. So the two shoulders of Erik Anpin pour in some way into the das of Zer Anpin. Kedei lemehev chad rucha, in order to place this one ruach bebir rishona benukva lasos akli. V'zecha v'ruach nikra binyamim, and then we've seen before this idea that this ruach is called by the name Binyamin. So let's go on a little bit more, and we have number tes. Now, after number ches up above, it said, he said, V'hine muachadas trin itrin, that is the chesadim and the gevuros, trin kasvin, the Erik Anpen, and the two shoulders of Erik Anpen, nimshach al Yesod, the Zer Anpen, and it pours into there. Shuhu Sod, which is this Ha'alef L'cha Shlomo, which is the secret of this phrase from Shir Hashirim, which was 1,000 would be for you, Shlomo. What's 1,000 mean? So he says, we have a little bit of a blurb here. Let's see what it says. He says, Ha'inyan, I think that's where we're at, Bavur Bishar Gilgulim, Bezel Lashona Bedillo, Behine Shorish Hadas, Hayored Derech Chut Hashidra, Techila Yored Al Shtei Kisvos Elu. The first it comes, this Shorish of Das really comes first to these two shoulders, which is the shoulders of Erik Anpen, which is what he said. Va'achar kach yored ad Yesod lehimatze tipa lahamsia tipa sazera. Yeah, I maybe need another set of glasses for this, or just to figure out a way that I could see it better. So he said, yored ad Yesod lahamsia tipa sazera, in order to bring about the existence of this tipa zera. So you need to come from a high place, which is the shoulders of Erik Anpen, down into the Yesod that has then carrying this tipa. So since there are two shoulders, and between the two shoulders is all going down into the Yesod, he says, Oz, Kasiv, then it's written like this, Shtei Kasefos Hovros al Shtei Kitzvoisiv V'huvar. So he says that he is the two shoulders, Chovros al Shtei Kitzvoisiv, which are tied together. I know we had some thoughts about this, probably in the Idras, I'm not sure. Shtei Kitzvos Chovros shall Shtei Kitzvoisiv V'hubar, and they come together. So we have a little break here right now, and we're at the dividing part where we're going to try to get into the next section, so we need to finish this out. Here it comes. Okay, so we're gonna try to finish this out here. Let's see, where am I? So we're on this phrase. It says Shtei Kisvos Chovros al Shnei Kitzvoisiv V'hubar. So the two of them, that is, we're talking about the shoulders, come together in some way. He az mischadrin b'Yesod, and at that point they come together. They join themselves into the Yesod. But so this is all this tipa that's coming out of Erik Anpen, v'oz kasiv, and then it's written like this, ha'elef l'chal shlomo. Ki ha'yesod nikra shlomo. So the elef, whatever elef means, we know that it means 1,000. Maybe the word 1,000 itself refers to Erik Anpen. So that's coming into the Yesod the Yesod, which is called Shlomo. Yesod called Zavazechu Sha'amar. This is what it says, a pasuk, a bris shalom, that the bris of shalom, v'onz ku sod ha'elef. This is the concept of this word 1,000. Ki beis pa'amim kasef. So if you take the word kasef, I know we had this before, is 500, and heim begematria elef. So the two shoulders are ha'elef l'cha. That's the concept of bringing the shefa that's coming from the shoulders of Erik Anpen all the way through down into the Yesod of Zer Anpen. So I guess we'll stop right here. Today is the 8th of Tamuz. Okay, let me stop that.